Good evening guys, it's only me. It's the 1st of September, so to kick off the first of many videos for this month, I'm going to show you my soil sifter. Now, I actually looked at 3 videos on YouTube. One was from UK Here We Grow, and the build that Tony O'Neill did was one using 3 bicycle rims, using the metal bit, and it involves a wooden frame with some casters for helping to turn it. I also looked at one from Grow Your Heirlooms, and he'd adapted his from a guy called Fietzer. I think I've pronounced that right. But I'll put all the links in the description so you guys can check them out. Now, the problem was I didn't want to go spending a lot of money making one. I wanted to use the materials that I had. And there's my baby. So because I had a lot of the really thin PVC piping, that stuff, I decided to use that. Now, the build that the Grow Your Heirlooms and Fietzer does uses a lot thicker pipes. So what I've done is actually reinforced it with some aluminium tubing that I had. Now that was actually my old tool hook thingy that was in the shed. I basically had that a really long pipe at the back of the shed with some of those S hooks on. But it got left out in the weather and went a bit rusty, so I thought instead of just scrapping it, I'll use it to reinforce the legs. And there's one on the central pipe as well. Because this is quite thin, it's 21.5mm piping. Once you get to about 1 metre in length, it starts to bend. I mean, you can see one up on the back fence, that's a 3 metre long length. So there's some strength in it, but it's also quite flexible. So the build I've gone for is the one where you use 2 buckets and you chop the bottom off. You wrap some of this hard wire mesh around it. The first lot I put round is about 1 inch square, but that was far too wide for what I wanted, and just over a week ago I found some really thinner one. That's about 13mm gap, so I've got that round it. So it's sifting how I want it, but for seed sowing and for things like carrots and parsnips, I want an even finer mesh. So I'm going to look online. What I'll do is I'll just wrap another layer around and bungee it. So yeah, all it's got is 2, you can't really tell because it's all caked up in mud now. I think it's rebar it's called. It's basically like a really long screw. And there's one at either end. It's got an intake chute to help load it up, cobbled out of a couple of buckets. First one I tried wasn't long enough, and when I loaded it up, the whole thing just collapsed down. So I had to adjust that. And then there's an outtake chute, which I'm not 100% happy with because it's a little bit level. It needs to be a bit more slanted to take all the rubbish away. But yeah, as you can see, I've got 1 dumpy bag done already. So I've emptied all those pots. Now the problem I had was I wanted to build it because it's actually on a frame. You see that? 4 pieces of wood with some T-sections. And these pipes actually do come out. I've got some like boreholes that I've drilled in part way. So it'll collapse down so I can store it. But the problem I had was I wanted it to fit on a 1 metre bed. So when I get my beds all sorted out, going up this way instead of going across that way, I can sift the soil directly onto the beds then. But I had that, oh God. I had, basically, it's a compost bin, a slot together compost bin that I hadn't actually put together because I wasn't quite sure where was going to put it, because I knew I was going to change the garden around, so I thought there's no point me putting it up and getting it set up when it might end up being in the wrong position. So I've actually been using that to stand my trommel on. I've got a dumpy bag on the inside which is folded over. As you can tell, it's almost full as I can get it. And then what I'll do is I'll probably get a bit more wood and stack it a bit higher so I can undo the rest of the bag. And then once that's full, I'll just take all this off. Take this off, which is light enough for me to handle by myself. Take all this wood off, position it next to it, and put another dumpy bag in, and away I go. So anyway, does it work? Yes, it does. And I'm going to give you a quick demo. Now, I wanted to put, it's been working about a week now, but because it's been a really busy week, I've got one, my eldest is off to college for the first time. She starts next Tuesday, and then I've got one actually going up to high school. So it's been a really busy time with registration and enrolment and sorting paperwork out, and you know the drill. So I've been getting home and had about half an hour of good light left, and I've been trying to get as much of this done as I can. Because we've actually had some dry weather this last week, apart from yesterday, it tipped it down. So enough waffling. I'll show you how it works. So I'll load the chute up, push it in a little bit, and it's rickety as hell, but it does work. So I'm holding my phone with my left hand, so this is going to be wobbly, and then well, there we go. Push a bit more down. And then once the chute starts getting a bit full, just push it off into the wheelbarrow. Now it does clog up a little bit with roots and stuff, but I'll just give it a good old whack. It seems to clear it. But yeah, I mean, I'm still getting some lumps, because sometimes it falls through. It falls through like that way. So I am still getting a few little lumpy bits, but that's fine for most veg. But for seed sowing, like I said, I want it a lot finer. But yeah, it's doing a grand job. So yeah, that's my Bodge and Scarper build. But as I said, I'll put the videos up in the description so you guys can have a look at how someone more professional than me can actually cobble something together. But yeah, it's working really well. It does creak a bit, but it hasn't collapsed on me yet. And I've got all of this soil to do. The rest of that one, I've had to move my borage and my comfrey up there because they've decided to flower and the bees are going mental over them. So I've got the rest of that bed to clear, and my potatoes. So I've got that soil, and then there'll be my brassica bed and the top bed with my winter veg. So but yeah, this season is really starting to draw to a close now. So I want to try and get this all done so I can get the beds moved around. But there you go. That's my soil sifter. It's a lot easier than standing there with one of them little round ones and But yeah, I have had a lot of debris from, you can see I've cleared this one. I've had a lot of debris from this bit because it was mainly, I had a layer of the clay from where I dug where the fruit trees are. So I've had a lot of nasty thick clay that's just not sifting at all, so I got quite a bit of that. It's managed to break it up a little bit and start to mix some of the lovely compost with it, so hopefully that'll start breaking down over time. But what I'll do is I'll put all this at the bottom of the beds to hopefully act as a bit of drainage, because yeah, it is really wet underfoot because it's basically just, it's just rock solid clay. Don't know if you can hear it squeaking. Yeah, it's all soggy. And this bit in the corner flooded when it downpoured yesterday. So it's not draining away. No wonder those home guard potatoes got wet through. But anyway, just an update on my trommel. And it's working, and I'm dead proud of that. So I will see you guys in the next one. I'm hoping to have a, well, not really much of a garden update really from last time. But yeah, I think the next big thing is probably my potatoes. Because on the 7th of September they will have been in for 140 days. Because the main crop. So this is a bit of a teaser for you. But they are still going really, really strong. So I'm in two minds whether or not to pull them. Bearing in mind I want to try and get that bed emptied so I can get it all moved around. Do I leave them in? Or do I pull them? Because I'm still getting flowers every now and again. Look. But the foliage, apart from being caterpillar eaten, is going strong. And I'm still getting new foliage coming up. And I've had a little dig. And there's potatoes in there. So I'm going to have to think about that. See what you guys think. Should I pull them? Or should I leave them? Decisions. Anyway, this has gone on far too long. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. Ta-ta for now. Bye.